What is up, beautiful people? It is your boy GamerNeedz. Today I bring you guys 5 survival builds you can use in your game. Before we continue, I will have to say that these builds are in no specific order. These builds are my personal preferences, but you can use whatever fits your playstyle. Also, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to leave a like. We put a lot of work in this video and any support would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you like my channel and want to stay up to date, you're always welcome to subscribe. It's free and it helps me a lot. Alright, without further ado, let's get started with the build. So the first one we're using is a solo build, which is purely focused on solo queuing. The first perk is Adrenaline. Once the exit gates are powered, instantly heal 1 health state and sprint at 150% of your normal running movement speed for 5 seconds. This is a great perk that can help you a lot later in the game when you're injured or downed. The second perk is Decisive Strike. This is a must-have in solo builds. After being unhooked or unhooking yourself, Decisive Strike activates for the next 60 seconds at tier 3. When being grabbed or picked up by the killer, succeed a skill check to automatically escape their grasp, stunning them for 5 seconds. Successfully stunning the killer will disable Decisive Strike for the remainder of the trial, and result in you becoming the obsession. Keep in mind, these interactions will disable Decisive Strike. While Decisive Strike is active, the following interactions will deactivate it: repairing a generator, healing yourself or other survivors, cleansing or blessing a totem, sabotaging a hook, unhooking other survivors. The third perk we're going to use is called Unbreakable. Once per trial, you can completely recover from the dying state. Your recovery speed is increased by 35% at tier 3. And the last perk we're gonna use in this build is called Deliverance. After performing a safe hook rescue on another survivor, Deliverance activates. Your self-unhook attempts will succeed 100% of the time. Deliverance causes the broken status effect for 60 seconds after unhooking yourself if you have the perk tier 3. The second build we are using today is called a looping build, which is purely focused on looping the killer around several loops. The first perk we are using is Resilience. This perk increases your action speeds in repairing, healing, sabotaging, unhooking, vaulting, cleansing, opening, and unlocking by 9% when in the injured state and if the perk is tier 3. The second perk we are using is Dead Hard. This is a must-have in most builds and it's very strong. When injured, tap into your adrenaline bank and dash forward quickly to avoid damage. Press the active ability button while running to dash forward, avoiding any damage during the dash. Dead Hard also causes the exhausted effect for 40 seconds if the perk is tier 3. The third perk we are using is called Windows of Opportunity. The auras of breakable walls, pallets, and windows are revealed to you within 32 meters at tier 3. This will give you more information about the pallets and windows around you. The last perk we are using in this build is called Spawn Chill. Whenever the killer is looking in your direction when they are within 36 meters of you, Spawn Chill activates. Increases the trigger odds of skill checks by 10%, decreases the skill checks success zones by 10%, increases your action speed in repairing, healing, sabotaging, unhooking, vaulting, cleansing, opening, and unlocking by 6% at tier 3. This effect also stacks with Resilience, giving us a total boost of 15% to several actions. The third build we are showing today is called a Vault build, which will focus on looping the killer around Killer Shack or Jungle Gyms or getting distance to another loop. So the first perk we're gonna use once again is Resilience. This perk increases your action speed in repairing, healing, sabotaging, unhooking, vaulting, cleansing, opening, and unlocking by 9% when in the injured state and if the perk is tier 3. The second perk we are using in this build is called Spawn Chill. Whenever the killer is looking in your direction, when they are within 36 meters of you, Spawn Chill activates. Increases the trigger odds of skill checks by 10%, decreases the skill check success zone by 10%, increases your action speed in repairing, healing, sabotaging, unhooking, vaulting, cleansing, opening, and unlocking by 6% at tier 3. This effect stacks with Resilience, giving us a total boost of 15% to several actions, including vaulting. The third perk we are using is Light. After performing a rushed vault, break into a sprint of 150% of your normal running movement speed for a maximum of 3 seconds. Light causes the exhausted status effect for 40 seconds at tier 3. This is a great way to get distance between you and the killer and get to a safer loop on the map. The final perk we are using in this build is Dance With Me. When performing a rushed action to vault a window, pallet, or leave a locker, you will not leave any scratch marks for the next 3 seconds. Dance With Me has a cooldown of 40 seconds at tier 3. This is a great way to lose a killer if you combine it with your Light, as you can make a lot of distance without scratch marks. The fourth build we are using is called the Locker build, which is purely focused on using the locker as our advantage. The first perk we are using in this build is called Head On. While standing in a locker for 3 seconds, Head On activates. When performing a rushed action to leave a locker, stun the killer for 3 seconds if they are within range. Head On causes the exhausted status effect for 40 seconds at tier 3. Obviously, entering a locker makes a lot of noise and notifies the killer. This is where our second perk comes in clutch, which is Quick and Quiet. Suppresses both the loud noise notification and the sound effects triggered by rushing to vault windows, pallets, or rushing to enter or exit lockers. Quick and Quiet has a cooldown of 20 seconds at tier 3. The third perk we are using is Inner Strength. Each time you cleanse a totem, Inner Strength activates. You are automatically held 1 health state when hiding inside a locker for 8 seconds while injured or suffering from the deep wound status effect. And the last perk we are using is Build to Last. Hiding inside a locker for 12 seconds while carrying a depleted item will replenish its charges to 99%. Each use of Build to Last reduces this percentage by minus 33%. And the final build we are using today is probably the best build in the game at the moment. It is what I like to call the sweat build. The first perk we are using is Dead Hard. This perk can give you a second chance if you make a mistake. When injured, tap into your adrenaline bank and dash forward quickly to avoid damage. Press the active ability button while running to dash forward, avoiding any damage during the dash. Dead Hard also causes the exhausted status effect for 40 seconds if the perk is tier 3. The second perk we are using is Decisive Strike. Decisive Strike activates for the next 60 seconds at tier 3. When being grabbed or picked up by the killer, succeed a skill check to automatically escape their grasp, stunning them for 5 seconds. Successfully stunning the killer will disable Decisive Strike for the remainder of the trial, and result you in becoming the Obsession. Keep in mind these interactions will disable Decisive Strike, repairing a generator, healing yourself or other survivor, cleansing or blessing a totem, sabotaging a hook, unhooking other survivors. The third perk we are using is called Unbreakable. Once per trial, you can completely recover from the dying state. Your recovery speed is increased by 35% at tier 3. And the final perk of this video will be Borrowed Time. For 12 seconds after unhooking a survivor, the unhooked survivor is protected by the Endurance status effect. Any damage taken that would put the survivor into the dying state will instead trigger the Deep Wound status effect, after which the survivor has 20 seconds to mend themselves. Taking damage while under the effect of the Deep Wound, or if its timer run out, will put the survivor into the dying state. This is arguably the strongest build in the game. So guys, these are 5 strong builds for survivors on Dead by Daylight. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please let me know by leaving a like and don't forget to comment what you think about the builds. Also, if you have more cool videos like these, make sure to comment them down below. So this has been your boy GamerNeedz, and I hope you all enjoyed. Till next time, peace!